Now, I've been doing Budget Besties for quite a long time now. I think this is actually the 34th one that we've actually done. And normally I just pick one closest towards the end, but I thought this week, let me just go back to like basically the start. And I found the 11th ever submitted one and it made my blood boil. Hi guys, gals and non-binary pals, welcome to Budget with Ira. My name is Ira and on this channel we talk about budgeting, paying down debt and saving up for the life that you truly deserve. If that sounds like something you'd like to watch, please consider subscribing to the channel because we do have a lot of fun over here, bestie. We really do! In today's video, we're continuing my series called Budget Bestie. Budget Bestie is a series where people anonymously submit their budgets to me, I take a look at them and see what I might do if I was in their situation. This is not financial advice. However, sometimes I can impart some wisdom that may help you make better financial decisions or not. The true wisdom, however, does come from the comment section down below, so if you believe there is a better way to tackle this budget, please make your voice heard because it is wonderful for people going through similar situations to read that and actually make great decisions based off of everything that they have available to them. So anyway, as I said, this one got me a bit cross because, let me tell you, they said that their main financial issue is limited income, and then when you look at their money, they ain't doing bad, bestie. Should we go ahead and get into this? Okay, bestie, so I've got this in front of me, and as I said, their main financial issue is limited income. So their main income per month is not combined, it's just them. It's $2,146.74, which is actually very generous, and we'll show you how they spend it in a bit. Their main financial goal is to have savings and to be comfortable. So they're definitely in a situation where this is possible. They don't have any debt whatsoever, and they're currently saving for sinking funds, but they haven't given me any information on what sinking funds that they do want to do. So we're going to fill in the blanks in today's video. So when I asked please provide any prudent information, they said they are single mum, 3-year-old with complex health, meaning unable to work, so universal credit, which is absolutely cool. Partner only home at weekends. He works away for military, finances not combined, he or she should I say, and they have a newborn baby. So they have a Costco subscription which they use for discounted fuel and bulk buying household products. They receive universal credit, 3-year-old receives disability living allowance, and then child benefit, which I've put in total for all of the income altogether. So we are looking at finances not combined, and we are looking at lots of places to spend this money. So this one is going to be a bit more cut and dry today. It's going to be like, this is what I would be doing with the money if I were you. This is where I'd be putting the money because there's no debt. So it's about being matter of fact with this. So I think, bestie, it's time to get budgeting. Okay, here we are ready to get cracking with today's budget. Today we have the A4 paycheck bill tracker. Again, we don't quite need this much space. I do have an A5 one, but it's currently sold out. So I have a new version coming into the store very soon. But at the moment, all we've got is this one. So I'll show you this one. So bestie, let's get going. So as I said, this person's income is 2146. So we're going to put that in 2146, and that's their total income. So it does come from 3 streams, but they didn't like list it all. So let's just leave it as that. Next we have bills, and we're going to go through them together. So the first one is rent. We have that, and it's $456.96. I don't know if this is subsidized or whether it's just their half, because they did mention that they have a partner, so potentially they pay the other half, or maybe that's just what the half is. They put their gas and electric next, and that is £104, so that seems nice and cheap. Water is next at 47, and then they have a pet plan, which I don't know what that is. Maybe it's like insurance or something like that. That's quite expensive. It's $73.85. So again, I never touch anything with pets. Maybe that might not be a great financial decision, but if it's what the pet needs, then that's what it will have. Council tax is next, and this one is definitely subsidized here because it's £18 per month, and TV license is here. It's the same as everybody else. The TV license is $13.25. We have life insurance next. So life insurance, and that's £20 a month, nice and smart, a good price. Car insurance, so car insurance is £24.25. Then they have RAC, which is sort of like breakdown care for their car, which is £11.75. Then they have mobiles and broadband, and this horrified me about how much. So this is like 2 phones max and broadband. I just put broad there. That is £140. Jeez Louise. Then they have a window cleaner, which isn't really a necessity, but I'd never say sort of get rid of that stuff, because that's a small business owner, I'd like to think, that, you know, could do with that £15 a month. So it's not a massive hardship to keep that going. Then they have children's groups, and they come up to £10 a month, so that's really reasonable. And then they have subscriptions, which they list as Amazon Prime, Netflix, and other bits. So subscriptions come up to £55. So that's still a lot of money, but let's move on. This comes up to £989.06, which leaves them with £1,156.94. They've only got 3 other expenses. So first one they list as food shop there. So it's them and 2 really small kids. So £150 is really, really good that they're managing to do that. Then they have fuel for like driving them about, which is £100. And then they have train travel every month. And that's for their 3-year-old to go up to Great Ormond Street. So that's a really important part of their month. That's £40. So all of that comes up to £290, which leaves them with £866.94. And that is their buffer. So currently they're saying that they have a lack of money, and based off of what they've told me, it's £866.94 that they don't know where they're putting every single month. So I really and truly do not think that there is a lack of money here whatsoever. What I believe is happening is that they're spending money and they're putting money away for holidays and things like that, and they're just buying things rather than saving up for them. And that's why I feel like they don't have enough money. So let's go back to this budget with the purple pen. So I'm not actually going to touch anything in the bills, but if I was this person, I'd definitely take a look at mobile broadband. That seems horrendously high. I think you can do way better than that. Pet plan there is really high. Is that the correct thing for your pet? If it is, leave it, but if it's not, consider doing that. And subscriptions do seem very, very high. But we are going to leave the bills and we're going to move over to envelopes and sinking funds. So the first thing that I'm going to do is the thing that everybody seems to forget to do, and give themselves a little bit of spending money, because I feel like a lot of this money actually goes there. So I'm going to do £150 a month, which means you get £30 a week, and that takes your total for envelopes to £440, which leaves you, with £716.94. Spending is the thing that we tend to forget about within our budgets, and we're like, oh, I can go without. But in the reality, we can't go without it, and we do need it. So we do need to account for it always. So we have no debt, so we're skipping this part, and we've got £716.94 to spend. So I'm going to list some sinking funds here, and I'll join you back in a sec. Okay, so let's quickly talk about this topic, because some people who have a really, really poorly children, they tend to sort of live in the now and treat their kids like in the now, give them what they want and all of that. And I'm not saying that that's the worst thing to do, because I totally get it. I completely understand it. However, sometimes thinking about the future is actually oftentimes a good thing to do, because we're giving like better experiences and things like that that will just enrich their life so much more. So sometimes thinking about the future rather than giving into the temptation of celebrating now is a wonderful thing. Okay, so having said that, I want to do some bits and bobs with this money. So first of all, I want to start sorting out an emergency fund. So I've come to a figure of a monthly payment into the emergency fund of £357.65. So let me show you how I got to that number. So their bills come up to £989.06, and their envelopes come up to £440. So that is actually £1,429.06. So that's what they need to live every single month. So without saving anything, without putting anything towards the future, they need this to hold up their four walls and have spending money and have a good life, basically. So an emergency fund should be 3 times or 6 times what you desperately need to make it through the month. So if we times that by 6, they're going to want a total emergency fund of 8,574.36, right? So when we divide that by 24, so if we decide we're going to save that up over the course of 2 years, that works out as 357.65. So we could do like 700 and something, but we haven't quite got the money there. But getting an emergency fund over 2 years is actually quite an incredible feat. So by putting away 357.65 each month, they'll have a fully stocked emergency fund in 2 years' time, so that if the worst happens or if something really bad happens, then they've got money there so that they can make it through. So that's probably the #1 step that I would do. And then going back to the point where I said thinking about the future is sometimes a really good thing to do, I'd put away £100 for holiday each month, because we can have some lovely holidays with that. Do £100 for Christmas, which is a lot more than I'd normally do, but if we've got a kid who's a bit poorly and has sensory issues and things like that, presents just can cost a lot more because of that. So let's go for that. And then for birthdays, I would do £30. So that's for both of them, and probably you as well throughout the year. Can come in really handy. Self-care, because taking care of yourself when you're looking after poorly kids, or any kids really, is super important. So sometimes that can take the form of pampering and things like that, but it could also be saving up for a little bit to get a specialist babysitter so that you can have a night out with the girls. So I would go £30 a month, and then that will rack up, and so that you can really truly do what you want to do with that money. Again, spending time with the kids is super important. So 30 quid a month for family time and doing something every now and then would be really good. And then £28 for home to make the home as accessible and as fun and engaging for your kids is, I think, really reasonable. Then I'd shot a tenner into 3 separate accounts. I'd set up a LISA for each kid and an ISA for yourself, depending on how old you are, so that you can start preparing for the future and have like a little nest egg for when they get older. So all of that comes up to 697.65. That leaves us with 1929, which is the new buffer. Now, I think that is way more reasonable. What we've got in this budget is a place for every piece of money to go. Before, I feel like 866.94 was going on holidays and Christmas and birthdays as they happened. We'd use spending money as we needed it and as we wanted it. And I feel like when we do things like that, the costs go out of control because we're not tracking it and we're not being meaningful with it. So now we're giving ourselves £30 a week so that we can spend it on whatever we want. We're taking care of our family, our kids and ourselves. So we've got time for the family, we've got time for the home, we're taking care of the kids' future, and we're planning in big important things like holiday, lovely Christmases, lovely birthdays, and we're thinking about the future in a more meaningful way because we're putting the money behind it rather than just spending what we need to there and then. I think the important thing for this family is to have an emergency fund, especially if we say we're single, we're not seeing our partner very often, and they're not really contributing to the home in any sort of meaningful way that I can see or as a parent from here. So being able to rely on yourself and having an emergency fund in case just the worst could happen, then we're thinking about the future in such a good way that we know we're comfortable and we can rest really easy. So that's the approach that I would take to this budget bestie. I know at the start I said that it boiled my blood, but it really does get me a bit irate when people say I don't have money. People have money, they just spend it poorly and they plan poorly. So thinking about what your family needs and what you need and getting it down on paper, you can see that this person has enough money to have a wonderful life with their kids. And I can't wait to see how they get on. Hi guys, gals and non-binary pals, thank you so much for getting through to the end of the video. You know I love it when you get through to the end of the video. Please give this video some love. Make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe, and if you are going to comment, please use this emoji. What did you think of today's video? I mean, for me, limited income, I did not see limited income. I saw probably poor spending if we get into a place where we're not able to put any money away. But I'd love to know in the comments down below what you would do. Do you think that the approach to sinking funds was the right one? And do you like the calculation that I did? Would you try and make it a bit sooner? Because probably could do a bit sooner. But yeah, I'd love to know what you would do if you're in this person's shoes. Please let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for getting here, but an extra special thank you to the channel members and the patrons who make all of this possible. I truly mean it when I say, without you, I would not be here. Patrons get exclusive content, sneak peeks, and significant discounts off my Etsy store, so if you'd like to join them and support me over on Patreon, please take a look at the link in the description. You will not regret it, bestie. That is all we have time for in today's Budget Bestie, but until next week's Budget Bestie, where we may dive a little bit deeper, maybe we'll do number 1. I don't know if I've done that actually, I don't know. But until next week, I would like you to have a wonderful day, have a wonderful week, and have a wonderful budget. Always remember, don't trust Ira. And bestie, I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.